Hi,
Hi,
Seetha.
hi. Hello. Is this okay?
Lovely, lovely. Keep the phone towards you. Yeah,
Okay.
little bit towards. Yeah, little
Okay.
bit towards you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
hi, Nritya. Nritya Pillai has joined. Some of
How
the other
lovely.
dancers have joined. My students have also joined. We'll just
Right.
wait for about few more people.
Sure.
Okay. Otherwise, how are you generally, Seetama?
Managing, surviving, trying to look out of the window and keep myself busy.
Someone says, Homai
Yeah.
Bharia says hi to you.
Hi. Okay. Homa is a good friend. Very sweet.
How
Nice.
sweet. How sweet. They have to be sweet to you, Sita, please.
Supriya's also joined. Nice.
Yeah,
Abhinaya.
Abhinaya.
They're all
Yeah,
dancers. Supriya, Abhinaya, all of them. Homa is
all
an
of them have joined.
actress.
So,
Nitya, of course. Hello, Nitya. Lovely to
hi,
see you.
Nritya. Hi, Ma. Hi. So, we welcome you very much. Hearty welcome to you, my dear Sita, to this Sunday Tejas Insta conversation. Okay.
Thank you so much for giving me this
No, no, we
opportunity.
are we are so glad that you could make it this Sunday, today, Sunday. And my dear viewers, today's guest, yes, most of you know, in the dance field, this is a very, the name is too familiar for the dancers, but still, a way of introduction is my duty to give for my dear, dear Sita. Today's guest, my dear Seetha Ratnakar, is a singer, a dancer, an actor, a TV producer, and whatnot. And above all this, a very good human soul is Seetha Ratnakar. She has traveled through the time of technology and brought together her two worlds, art and the virtual world. She is indeed an outstanding television producer who had been the brainchild behind some of the earliest telecasts of Indian dances. Hailing from a family of artists, yes, we will know from her own words now, hailing from a family of artists, her grandfather, mother, aunt, sister, it is but natural that literature, theatre, and fine arts had a profound influence on Sita from early childhood. Trained both in Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi by stalwarts of gurus, of course, in Bharatanatyam by our dear respected KG Sarasa teacher, and Kuchipudi by Padma Bhushan Sri Vempati Chinnasatyam sir. She has had the experience of having danced along with her sister Ratnapapa Akka for over a decade. It is said, I've learned that people may forget what they said or what you did and what you said, but never will they forget how you made them feel. That good feel, Sita showers on us both in work and in person. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. And my dear viewers, just imagine if all these qualities are found in one person. That is Sita. That is Seetha Ratnakar to all of us. We welcome you so much, my dear Sita. We are all waiting to hear your yatra, your journey in this beautiful divine art of Bharatanatyam and your chosen career of being almost for 4 decades experience as a television producer. Yes, you can just start, my dear Sita.
Thank you so much, Srekala. At the outset, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share
Oh,
my thoughts
no.
and experience with so many dancers who
Yes.
I've known for so many years, but I have been so out of touch and I'm missing them particularly because I've not attended any program through last year. So you can imagine, no
Yes.
sabha, no kacheri, watching them all
Yeah,
virtually.
yeah.
So it's like I'm almost even talking to you is like being sitting face to face and talking to an artist. It's such a wonderful feeling, after so long. So
Yes.
thank you. My journey in artistic journey probably started in my mother's womb because she was already a musician. She gave her first gramophone record when she was 8 years old. So you can
Oh, sweet.
imagine, this is her centenary year. So you can imagine 92 years ago, what kind of a background it was that she came from. Think of her
Pranams
parents,
to her. Yeah.
how much they supported her in this. And when she had to give her first gramophone record, her parents, siblings, everybody had to come. They had to take a house because it took about 10 days to make one gramophone recording those days. So they had to come from Kakinada to Madras, take a house, stay there, do the recording, rehearsals, everything is done, and then at a stretch. So they had to stay here for 10 days. So look at the support she had, to be an artist when she was 8 years old by a
Lovely.
traditional, coming from a very traditional kind of family. I think they were very liberal and, very much connoisseurs of arts. And
Excellent.
it ran. My grandfather was a playwright and a theater person. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1961.
Excellent.
And
The year that I was born.
yeah, the year you were born. So,
19.
so theater, music, dance, I heard it, from the stalwarts of in all the fields. They used to be at home. There would be kacheris, concert. Our entertainment was only that. We go for concerts, people come home and give concerts. And that's how it was. Music.
Bharat says hi to you, Seetha.
Hi,
Bharat.
Bharat.
Okay, carry on, carry
So
on.
if in those days when we had power failures, our entertainment was only music. And when it comes to dance, uh, I think I was exposed to dance from as far back as my memory goes, because Ratna was already, she's 6 years older, and she was already learning dance from Sarasa teacher. So my
Yes.
memory from when I
Hey,
I
Ratnakar
remember,
was the first
yeah,
Arangetram of Sarsa teacher and the first
yeah.
student, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
started when she was about 5 or 6, and her Arangetram when she was 8, 9 years old. So I remember the rehearsals at home, teachers singing so beautifully. I used to be fascinated by her singing. I would
Very
just sit
true.
there and watch the rehearsal. I was a late bloomer. Okay, I was not it's very difficult living in the shadow of one prodigy, my mother, another prodigy, my sister.
Your
I
sister.
was so I was just happy to watch and enjoy. I was first and foremost, I was a Rasika. I think I imbibed enjoying art before I realized there was any art in me itself.
Yes, yes.
And
Hey,
then,
Radhika Shujit says hi to both of
oh,
us.
yes,
Hi,
lovely. All
Radhika.
my such lovely dancers watching. I'm so happy to see all of you, or at least
Yes,
to know that you're all there.
yes. It's
So,
so happy. I know.
so
I mean,
then when
it gives us so much of happiness.
I was a very late bloomer, because they would take me to teacher every Vijay Dasmi, and it will start with Teyate and go up to Didites, and that's about it. It never progressed beyond that, because Ratna had so many performances programs
Excuse
all
me,
over.
1 minute, Sita. So
Uh-huh.
nice to see my chitti Sita. Awesome. He
That's my
says.
nephew from Hyderabad.
Okay, okay.
So
No, I have to
Avinjamuri.
tell them, Sita, I have to tell you all this because when I save it on IGTV, the comments don't appear.
Okay, okay, I'm
Okay, you
okay.
continue, you continue.
So, so it never progressed, because Ratna was busy performing. Teacher couldn't teach her items and teach me steps. And, she used to come home to teach. There was really no time for my dance to progress. So that was the end of it was, every Vijayadashmi I would go and dance along, and maybe 1 or 2 classes, and never anymore. That's about it. So
Okay.
suddenly, Vempati Master came down from Andhra and started, to my good luck, to see that latent dancer in me blossom. I think that was an opportunity. He started a dance school right in Raman Street, 5 houses away from mine.
Oh, that's
And
great.
since my mother and all were busy touring all over India with Ratna, they thought they'll keep me out of trouble, put me in his dance class, help a fellow Andhra person set up an art. Let's
Okay.
send her. 6 days I used to go, and none of them knew what I was doing in the dance school. Okay. first anniversary, my mother and aunt came to watch. And they were shocked to see me doing, puja, Swarajati, Krishna Sabdam. Master had taught me all the items. I was one of the earliest students, and
So
he put in
sweet.
all his effort. So when they saw me doing all this, straight away they took me to teacher the next day. And
Wow.
said, teacher, Seetha nannave pandra, parunga. So Amma sang Samirara and I danced. And then, parvaille. And you know how I started my dance? All the dancers will be shocked to hear. She taught
How?
me, they'll be shocked. I didn't start with the steps and Alaripo. She's taught me Jatiswaram and a Padam, which I had no clue what I was dancing at that time. Everyday Nenu, Pavvalinchina Vela. Teacher, I was so young, I didn't know anything. Whatever she taught, I did. Everyday Nenu, Pavvalinchina Vela, Puvu Banamu Vesi, Ravva Chesi Poe. You think I had any idea? I must have been 11, 12 years old. I had no clue what it was. Okay? But I was so happy to be dancing, with Ratna. So they needed me for Ratna's costume change. So judiciously, so my dance was it was only for her costume change because 3 hours performance. This gave an
Yes.
opportunity for her to change. So Jatiswaram, one Padam. That was it first.
Okay.
Slowly, in reverse gear, I went to Alaripo.
Oh.
Started doing the steps in reverse gear. And Kautvam and Alaripo. And then when teacher was
sweet.
confident, she made me dance along with Ratna. Then, like this, and then she first taught us Palvadiyum Mugam and, dances which both of us could do together, Tilana.
Yes.
Slowly, more and more, the repertoire increased. Then, of course, when there's a Varnam, she say, "Neevu aadudi," like, teacher.
Are you that teacher always will say,
So I would stand in my... Yeah. So I would, like when Pune, I would stand at the back. I would be so scared because there were such stalwarts dancing.
Hey, someone says typical second-born duties.
Abhinaya, I totally empathize with you. So, so it was very need-based, my dance. But teacher saw whatever spark in me, I think, and she made me, dance along with Ratna, accepting. And I never got an opportunity to do Varnam on my own in Bharatanatyam. Kuchipudi, I have done several programs.
Very
I used to travel with Master. I've traveled with, but I traveled with Sarasalaya and I've done programs. And teacher just adored me. She was so fond of me.
How
and right
sweet.
through Doordarshan,
How sweet.
when she used to come for programs, even for other people, Enge, a student, Seetha, Kupudanga. And she called me and...
Excuse me, 1 minute, Seetha.
Yes.
Say hi, good evening to my grandson.
Hi. Hi, handsome. How sweet.
Yeah, anyway, we'll talk about the grandchildren later. Now you continue
So that
about
is,
teacher.
but that,
you
enough
being-
of my start. But from that's how it started. And then for
No,
10
Saraswati
years.
teacher was fond of you. And how will Ratnakar feel at that time?
She loved it because, she was always my very good friend, even though we didn't seem to have an age gap in our mind. She taught me treated me like a friend, took me wherever she went, introduced me to theatre, took me for film. She would see a film a second time for me and say,
In
this
fact,
is really
you acted
good.
as a child star. You must tell them.
Yeah, so showbiz came naturally, I think, to our family. My father used to play bridge, and a lot of these film producers used to play bridge. And those days there was nobody to cast children and all. Remember, only the heroes and heroines were you knew them, but you didn't know how to get other tiny stars. So they will ask around, who has a child of 5 years, 4 years, and then the children would be. I think my father was always very confused about our ages. So invariably, I acted as a boy when I was young. Invariably, I did boys roles, okay? I did Telugu movies, Kannada. I acted even with Rajkumar in a Kannada film.
Did you have any stints in Tamil movie as a child actor?
Only that first Telugu. Those days they used to do everything in bilingual with Nageswara Rao and Jamuna. It was a bilingual movie. I can't even remember the name. It was called Pelli Nati Pramanalu in Telugu. I don't know what it was called in Tamil. That must have been 5 years old.
Oh my God, my father used to say, Sundara Telanga, Subramanya Bhartiyare Solitaradi Kuti. சுந்தர தெலுங்கில் பாட்டி செய்து அந்த மாதிரி Telugu is always is such a beautiful language, you know, and the way
I
you
living
yeah.
in Madras, I could never, probably in Chennai, I working in Doordarshan from the time I was 22 years old. I had to learn Tamil to understand it better because that was the spoken language, the medium. So I forgot my Telugu. I never learned Telugu to start with. I studied in an English medium school with Hindi as second language. In Madras, I had to learn Tamil. Then I went to Delhi on transfers. I had to learn Hindi to read and
Hindi.
write. So Telugu was always in the background for me, though I spoke it at home, but very minimal. Now during the lockdown, I have learned to read and write Telugu.
Hey,
Just to
that's
read,
lovely.
to understand my
Mother tongue
mother's
is
work.
mother tongue. Yeah.
No, and my mother's written books. After 80 years old, she started writing books, fiction in Telugu, and I have not read what my mother's written. At least for that, I have learned the language so that I'll be able to, read and appreciate what she's written.
Actually, your grandfather was only a playwright or he was an actor, and for what he was given the Padma Shri?
As a playwright, dramatist, and actor, those days they had to sing
Fantastic.
their own songs, and moreover, there were no female actors in his time, so they had to do female roles, male roles, sing their own songs. There was no playback. In fact, my father acted in one film. He had to sing
Wow.
his own songs. He was a hero of a film called Sumangali, which was a very avant-garde film those days about a widow
Oh, very
remarrying.
nice. And those days, the actors and actresses needed to sing, no?
He
Along,
had to sing his own songs, yes.
yeah. Yeah,
So
that,
there was music. Everybody, my grandfather sang, my mother sang, my mother and aunt, of
and
course.
what about your
know.
mother and Anusia auntie?
Amma, her name is Anusuya. Seetha is
Sorry.
my aunt. My mother and aunt, they somehow, my mother developed an interest in folk music,
Folk.
of Andhra. So she started, learning from the folk people and bringing it whenever she got a chance in All India Radio. She would insist on including a folk song. She would do Carnatic concerts. She will insist on one folk song, she will request them. Slowly, the people liked the folk songs more. They'll say, one more folk song, one more folk song.
Oh,
And she started giving full length concerts of folk songs,
fantastic.
traditional song.
Because
So,
a teacher has praised your mother and aunt to us. ரொம்ப எங்ககிட்ட சொல்லியிருக்கா பிரமாதமா நான் பார்த்துருக்கேன். Of course, I was fortunate enough to get the blessings from both your aunt and amma. I was very fortunate enough to get their blessings. But I'm just telling you, அது ரொம்ப what a fine art of the Carnatic. If you learn, you can definitely sing any songs like that. Likewise, they say, if you learn Bharatanatyam, you can learn any other dance also.
you need the foundation. You need a strong foundation to do anything. So Carnatic was her foundation. She could understand. That's why she has notated 7 books of songs, traditional songs of Andhra, folk song. She has given the musical Carnatic notations for them so that they remain for posterity. Our traditional
Fantastic.
songs will never
That
go
was
out.
released by you, is it? The book?
I organized it because Amma had nobody else. 4 children live in the US. I'm the only one who lives.
Yeah.
So I helped her release. We had 2 release functions. SP Balasubramaniam, Shailaja, all of them sang, and Mrs. YGP, Vaijanti Malaka, Padma Subramaniam, all of them.
My
Padma
God.
Akka knows my mother. She's learned songs from them. You ask her,
Oh,
she'll sing
sweet.
those folk songs so beautifully. I've even recorded her. So they were all friends. Mr. K. Subramaniam, Lakshmi Viswanathan's father, all of them
Lovely.
tried to, to help my mother. She wanted to compose music for films. She never wanted to sing or act. She wanted to only compose. So probably I have got a bit of her in me that I danced. Yes, it was great fun. I loved traveling. I loved dancing. But I mean, in retrospect, I could never be Ratna Papa. I could only be Ratna Papa's sister. So, I mean, it's not that all of us want our own identity. It didn't bother me. I loved being with her. I was not in her shadow. Akka treated me so well, teacher. Everybody treated me well. They never treated me like I was inferior or I was not. I mean, they started with the rehearsal dress change, but they elevated me to a beautiful, it was fun. But when I shifted to television, I realized that was my calling in life, because when I started watching dance through, it was something new. I joined when television was absolutely new to India. I wouldn't say India, it had started in Delhi and Mumbai, but in Madras it hadn't started.
Yes, yes.
So neither I had a clue nor the dancers had a clue how to perform. It was spatially challenging because we did not have the parameters of a stage, and you had to imagine boundaries and dance within those boundaries, or you would go out of the frame. Head will be cut, legs will be cut, hands will be cut. So
Very true.
to guide the dancers with all this, tell them which camera to
What about
make
even
them.
the colors that you'll tell us, Seetha? You'll tell us for the camera, this color only will go. Please, my dear dancers, take these colors and come.
Yeah,
You
because
used to look
technology.
into the minutest part of it.
See, because sometimes if I'm going to wear this color and sit in a background of this, it will merge. And we did not have such sophisticated lights then when we changed to color. And and when you wore new, everybody will buy new talasaman and this thing to become tell in the, please
Shining.
bring your old, we'll put talcum powder on it and dull it so that it.
Very true. And you never wanted exit or entry. Okay, you wanted in the center itself
Yeah,
to
because
start.
then we'll be panning to some wooden piece which is all broken and it's been nailed 100 times. You'll see the holes in it
And
and a
once
plastic flower.
I know, and you'll give us an outline, okay?
Hmm.
And I still remember your compliment and comment, whatever. Srekala, from the mic from up. This is not a stadium. Don't give sixers and fours like your brother.
I remember, because I said, don't run around. And people would be worried, the dancers, they said, my God, what if they think I can't do any dance? This was the biggest worry everybody would have initially. Because if I'm restricting you, can't, I'm saying don't jump up and down, your head will get cut. So how do I do? Because at that time it's been choreographed by a teacher and you're only used to doing it correctly. How do you do
Exactly.
it wrong now? So to educate the teachers, to educate that the teachers don't get
Yes,
upset with the
especially that
students.
Nattavangam, you'll tell, Ayo,
Nattu
teacher,
Vangam
konja kiyavino,
in the cloth to keep it inside and do this. Oh my God, how much I tortured all the artists.
See,
But
it is
what
not
good
a torture,
programs.
Seetha. You were our tutor. Why do you want to think as a torture? My God, you really trained us so well. And I think I can boast of that. I have been really, because once we got the A grade and the national hookup and all, we've been, recorded many a time. Only in the recent past, only varla.
Well, I can't say comment on what's happening now. Things are changing in so many ways. They have to be commercially. But the thing is, you see, when we started, we paid very little to artists. But artists gave a lot more. I mean, I'm sorry, not a comment on any artist. I don't mean to, but because television was new and the dancers were also fascinated by this new medium, they understood that they could not carry their stage performance to the television small screen. So artists like Paduaka, Sudha Rani Raghupati, Chitra, all of them, how much they have worked, Narsimacharis, the kind of dance dramas they've done. I mean, casually I told the Narsimacharis one, people are getting fed up of seeing the same old, Shiva, Parvati, this, all the stories. We need something else. Can we try? I told Dhananjay and Anna, can we try some other religion? Can we do? Immediately he did 3 about Mary Magdalene.
Excellent.
I asked.
I was about to ask you, please tell us about all those old productions of yours, which many of us do not know.
They are not even available. I just told Dhananjay and Anna, the Shiva, Parvati, Panni, weekly we are doing Nadanarangam. The same thing. Everybody knows those stories so much. No offense meant, but no offense meant, but people are getting fed up, but they would love to see something new. So he did 3 and it was one of the best productions with simple lighting, elegant dance, and it was a story of Mary Magdalene with beautiful music. When I asked Narsimacharya, that time color television had come. So it was a little more exciting. So I said, let's try something more difficult. So he said, let's do Manimekalai.
Wow.
Okay. And we had Lata and Geeta dance. We had transmigration, and there are, in that their heads change. So we covered one with one black cloth and made
Okay.
different. In
Very
color,
nice.
you could show they look alike a lot. So in color, we had different costumes. And then suddenly her head is put here and this one's head is put there. We tried all these kind of things. But he choreographed it just for television. And we paid so little those
The
days,
same
let me
thing,
tell you.
the teacher also choreographed something on Surya, I forgot.
Teacher,
Surya, solo pane, sorry, on
no,
Surya. For a
teachers was
Pongal.
mostly solos. I didn't do any of her dance stuff. She was not available whenever we could do. I could
Appo
not, but
na Agatyara vandene oru vaati. Appo enna adu I don't
you
remember.
did with the group, you did with your own group. So
Yes.
it's even the solo dancers, like I asked Chitrakar, just put it on YouTube. In fact, she
Yes.
managed to find a VHS copy of it. Doordarshan doesn't have a copy.
Oh.
We had a director from Delhi who said, why don't you do something in Hindi and Tamil thematic and take the camera out and go? And so we went and shot in so many locations. And when I come to edit, technology is new. Now we have editing machines which are being not done by editors but by engineers, because it's highly technical. And I find
Yes.
out that the sound has 25 frames and the dance is 24 frames in each second. Every second I'm missing a frame. So after a certain while, the talam will go. So and of course all dancers, Urvatika ipudi vanda, another time it will be one hand, and ipdi kupta it will be like this another time. So to get the continuity with the single dancer, what all we struggled, but my God, such wonderful cooperation from the artists, the way they came forward. 4:30 in the morning, Chitra would be ready with her costume and makeup every day,
So
because
sweet.
we could only shoot in the natural light. We didn't have lights those days to shoot. So in the
If someone says,
natural light,
Manju Kamath says, hello, Sita.
hi Manju. So in that natural light, we had to shoot early morning and evening. So during the day, we couldn't do anything. She was so cooperative.
Oh,
She,
sweet.
her mother, and we never, Vish composed music, we researched. We never paid anything extra for all this. Can you believe it?
Oh,
They
sweet.
just did it for the love of dance, for the love of performing. So that was for me more exciting than just going and performing. That was fun while it lasted, but Ratna went off to US, remember? But this was, she was not even there to inspire me. All alone, I mean, to go to dance, there was no time. This was my new excitement, to be able to understand how to show dance.
Sita, when you were offered in Doordarshan Chennai, they immediately gave you the dance section itself, Sita?
As soon as I came back, my director said everybody can, music and dance was one section those days. So the first,
excuse me, Seshadri from Bangalore.
oh,
He says Chitraka national television presentation. I still have the recording. Madhurashtakam, Krishna something.
Krishna ni begane.
Begane. Adum Solwal. Epic performance. Thanks,
Wow.
Seshu.
Nice.
And my doctor Biswakumar is joined for your conversation.
Please share any recordings you have. Because I think the dancers would be really happy to see the old recordings.
Any recording of Chitrakas, please share.
Or anybody's, any recordings you'll have, please share with me. I think today's dancers would love to see what an effort, how difficult it was. We had no editing facility. What you did was what was shown, you see.
No,
you
really,
remember?
If I have, I'll just share it with you too. I'll share it.
Yes,
because it is, you'll tell us, see, the 3 cameras are here. Please don't come before that. Don't go behind that. And don't go either side of it. My God. What?
The entire Virali Malai Kuramanji was done like that. 3, major artists dancing there. Padua, all 3 of them given this much of space to dance. I had to tell each one, this is your camera, this is yours, this is yours. So when you are doing a solo bit, this is what you favor. And they couldn't make any mistakes. They had to follow that while dancing. Remember all this, which was new, because dance, you forget everything and you dance, right? You forget the stage, you forget the audience, and that is how you've been taught to dance, to perform,
Yes.
losing yourself. we couldn't give that, that was not possible. You had to be aware and yet perform the best that you can. So, but the advantage of technology is people could see your expressions up close and personal, like the way you could never. Except the front row people, the people behind never got an opportunity. And
Yes.
also the people who are in mofussil areas and all who don't see performances of great artists, all of them got a chance.
All of them got the opportunity. See, correct.
Yeah.
The
Even
Doordarshan has a very good viewers in mofussil areas
it
also,
used
Seetha.
to, I don't know about now, but that is how I
Yeah,
got all the
now
film
of
stars
course.
also to perform. Can you imagine? They were not graded. We could hardly pay them anything. To get them with hardly any money and do special programs, work hard on a thematic presentation. You do Bharatiya, you do this, you do that, I'll select and I'll give. All of them were so cooperative.
How
Be it
nice.
Bhanupriya or Shobana or Revati, Sukanya,
Fantastic.
Mohini, anybody I've recorded, they've done so many.
Fantastic.
They were so cooperative, doing their best. And then they'll, in fact, go one step further. Let me do this dance also. I found a beautiful old item. Maybe I'll choreograph this specially and put it. We can do this for Deepavali. It's
I know.
like
I
this.
have such lovely memories. You even recording my Mahila Mahima, the women's grandeur, and
Ah,
Bhakta Meera. My God, I still remember everything within the 28 minutes.
I
And
want to, talking about your dance, I want to share this memory with everybody. Uh, I remember you as a little child coming to dance class, teacher's class with your brother Srikant in shorts, coming to pick you up and drop you. And you were always a chirpy little child. But I remember after a gap when I had stopped dancing and Ratna had come down for some program, I just came with her because I loved being in teacher's school and I loved dance. And I came along and you were there and you had one weird haircut and your hair was falling out on this side. I still used to refrain from saying too much, but Ratna, being Ratna, said, "Hey, Kala, what is this stupid haircut you got?" She asked you. And then you said, "Akka, I had too much brain, so the doctor decided
so the doctors
wanted
had
to
to cut
chop."
it.
And Akka said, "You are too much brain, sir." I remember. And you said, "No, Akka, really, I had to shave my head because I had a brain surgery." அப்படியே Akka's expression, I saw all Navarasa's coming, expression change. What, Kala, what are you saying? And that's how I came to know about what
Yeah,
happened.
that was that's what I told you. My doctor Visukumar, my neurophysician, is here
Yes,
with
who
us as an
featured,
audience.
who featured
Yeah,
last week in
to
your
hear our
program.
conversation.
Yes, yes.
And 1984 was my tumor surgery on Indira Gandhi's assassination, October 31st, 1984. Akka saw me 1985.
Yes,
Because
because I was
86 onwards, I started dancing and you filmed my
in
dance,
Chidambaram.
Innam Sandega Padalamo, from Chidambaram Natyanjali.
Yes, and put it on the national network.
National recording where teacher was so thrilled.
Oh.
Teacher was, yeah,
because I
remember
telling Kamlini, this girl has had a Punarjanmam. Please, let's include her dance. It was at that time. I was in Delhi till 83. I came back only in 84 to
that's very sweet of you.
Delhi. So I felt I couldn't believe this little girl I knew. I said, she's had a Punarjanmam and she's meant to dance. We should encourage her if God has given her dance, And so I remember that very well. That was
how sweet of you. Thank you. All God's grace. So that is why. So I'm only 37 years old, Seetha, now.
Absolutely, Punarjanmam.
On 4th of July this year, I'm turning 60, Seetha.
I can't believe that. Okay. But I'm not yet 60. How come I was older than you? I'm not yet 60.
That's what. I am not crossed the teen. I am ever 19 mentally.
No, I'm sorry, blame it on COVID. When we cancelled 2020, my math has gone haywire. I can't count anymore because 1 year has gone out of my life.
Okay. But okay, Seetha. But all of us, both of us have such lovely grandchildren.
Absolutely.
I
children.
One grandson.
I have 2 sons and my 2 lovely grandchildren. And they have been, can I jump from the Doordarshan to last year since I mentioned COVID? I also had COVID last September.
Yeah, that was
I
shocking.
was,
That was
I was
shocking.
hospitalized, and I'm sure my sons went through hell, and I don't think they didn't know how to deal with it. Both of them couldn't come to India also. They were not in a position to come at that time, and they didn't know. Nobody could be with me. I had to go alone to hospital and come back alone. But somehow, I think my mother's genetically, my forefathers call them, they blessed us so much with creative thoughts that I think a creative person can never succumb to depression.
No,
We
no,
can
you
get
can't.
depressed. Yes, you can. I mean, we do have some low moments, and we
No,
would
but
go,
we
but you
keep
can't
on
succumb
thinking
to it.
what to do next. What to do next. That
And
that keeps us
think,
going.
thinking out of the box, you see, that's because I come from such a liberal minded family. They were,
Yes,
they were all thinking out of the box then. My grandfather and all were fighting for widow remarriage. They were Brahma Samaj people who believed in a universal God. They believed in equality. Even in the last century, I must say a century earlier, even in the early 20th century and all, they were all fighting for these things. They were social reformists. So,
okay, okay. Hey,
excuse me.
and what about you were with us for a full Antakshari, Sita?
Hmm?
Antakshari production of Shrikant's.
Yes, yes. I remember, you had last minute somebody who had planned everything for you, ditched you, and you called me desperately and said, Seetha, I need help. Do you know
Come to my
anybody?
rescue.
So I called a lot of people who had retired from Doordarshan, like Mohan, and
Yeah,
people who had left. And I told them, you have to do production, you have to do this, you have to help my friend. And if I'm
yes,
not mistaken, they did it in half the cost and twice the quality. Right?
yes, yes. It was beautiful, and
Yeah.
Shrikant was so happy with it. And I
They
think we
were very
continued
nice
for
people. I
about
got,
I think 3 or 4 every time you will take 13 episodes. Once we took 26 episodes. I still remember. I remember, and very well organized.
yeah. So it was,
Um, yeah,
so yeah.
it was beautifully done, and I
So
mean
I
the
think when
way.
you have a sense of when you know dance, and you know how to use the television medium, camera, you're able to. I think you're able to apply it to so many other, factors. You asked me if I started with dance. In 1975 was when I joined Doordarshan in
Oh,
Chennai, and I was
1975.
75. I was sent to FTI Pune for my training. As soon as I came back, they said everybody can go home tomorrow. Sita and Yamuna. We had to do a recording, and I remember our first recording was T.M. Tyagarajan sir of
Oh,
Music College, Umyal Puram
okay.
Sivaraman on Vidangam, T.N. Krishnan on violin. That was the first recording. The very next day, we had to record Meenakshi Sabhanayakam. She was not our main, her,
Chittaranjan.
Chitranjan. That was the
Yes.
next day we had to record her, and we were so new to, like I said, new to television. 25 minutes. So she decided to do half a Varnam. And
Oh,
and her father was the chief secretary. So we recorded and we telecast it. And every day, whatever was telecast was watched by all of us. Next day, we had a meeting where we would discuss. Next day,
lovely.
my director fired the daylights out of me.
Oh,
Right in the meeting, he fired. This is some third day in DD, and he's firing me. Of course, it started on the 15th, and we were telecasting from that. So
okay.
maybe a week or 10, 15 days into Madras Doordarshan, he fired me in the meeting. You claim to be a dancer. Don't you even know this? How can you telecast half a Varnam?
Adisari. And what
I
was
didn't
your
know.
reaction?
I just gaped. I said, she said, she said, she's a dancer. Isn't it your duty? Actually, I didn't even produce the program. It was Yamuna. But those days you didn't dare say no. All that you could say is, I'm sorry, sir. Yes. But that's how involved even the
But
director was.
sir, teacher, I've also done half of a Varnam for you.
No, but you choreographed it in such a way that it was complete.
Yes, teacher, என்ன தெரியுமா பண்ணுவா? முதல்ல ஒரு ஜதி போட்டுட்டு முக்தாய் ஸ்வரம் பண்ணிட்டு and then the second half கூட முடிச்சிடுவா.
And
Yes.
no, yes, that is how we finished it. But here, one half of the Sahityam was missing. So the story, and we were like so clueless, no new.
Okay.
That is, I never forget that lesson. But you see, we learn from our mistakes. And
Yes,
that
we
was
learn from our mistakes.
And we hated making mistakes. I don't think I've ever again chopped anything. Even if I decide to take some Sahityam, and if we decide to remove a few verses because it's too long, I would check whether which one are you removing. Does this sound complete?
That's
Is there a
very
natural
nice in
progression?
you will even check the items. That is what I, and in fact, once you told Panimati Mukhi Bhale, the teacher wanted me to do. I'm wondering how Srekala is going to do. She's so chirpy and smiling. How is she going to cry in Panimati Mukhi Bhale? And you were very happy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, with each and every dancer, you get involved. That's what I tell you. Whether be it a male or a female dancer, a senior or a junior, or a very well established or an aspirant, a young aspirant, you will treat everybody so well because you want them to come out the best on the television.
In fact, I must tell you, Kala, that it wasn't always like roses all the way in Doordarshan. Even though all
Bed
of
of
you,
Roses also has thorns in it.
all of you felt like that. The artists were so nice to me and kind, and it was a very enjoyable journey with you all creatively. But I didn't get my due promotions in Doordarshan.
Okay.
But the thing is, I still, no, it was unfortunate. At that time, it was like the end of the world because I thought I was doing really good work. And I grew up in an atmosphere where I was not aware of my family, my school. We were not aware of caste or religion or creed. We grew up in a very, very inclusive and very happy
upbringing is something
atmosphere.
excellent.
Yeah, anybody, my house, everybody, anyone could eat. We all ate together. We had friends, and we didn't even know. So with that kind of it, this was a new exposure for me. But I would say art saved me because I didn't despair. I felt bad. I felt sad, but and art and spirituality, I would say that finally I realized, I have to work with these same people who messed up my career. Okay. I'm with them, in the midst of them. Every day I have to work with them, knowing that somebody there has messed it. But I didn't want to live with anger and hatred. Then it will reflect in my work. It will reflect in everything. So I told myself, why am I blaming them? If I believe there's a God above who decides what has happened, let me say this is God's wish. And they have to be an instrument and do it and continue. So I jumped into my job with even more zeal, and I must say that Ratnakar was also very supportive. He told me, it doesn't matter, you're getting the same salary as a man. Never go and behave like a female in your office and say,
I remember, Seetha, you telling me that even during the season, you will try to give the opportunities for the NRI who comes down, because even for them, the Doordarshan is something great at those times.
Not just the NRI, only graded artists we could give, remember?
I mean, days, NRI graded.
Not just
I'm not
NRI.
Everyone, Ma. I'm not saying everyone. The graded artist only you will give. But the way you will make them feel so good about it.
Even the people from Bombay and Delhi, like the Javeri sisters, the Kathak dancers who will come from there. Anybody who's visiting, coming to, remember, even coming for a Sabha program, everybody got so little. And our directors were also very, I think they like to help artists. They would say, we are coming to Madras, but then we are getting only this much from a Sabha. It will be helpful if you give a program. And we didn't mind. It was like that. The director would tell me that Javeri sisters are here.
Very nice.
Hindustani concerts.
You immediately take that clue and you will feature them. That's what I love.
What a lovely exposure for me. How much have I seen? Parveen Sultana. And then we will go to get them the payment because they were coming for a day. I will go to their hotel the previous day and get signatures in contract. We have to give it in so that the checks will be ready when they are ready to leave. So I really I think I have today, if I survived the COVID and came back home without anybody from my family or friend, don't you think it must be the blessings of all these people who must have somewhere said that day when they think, oh, thank you, Seetha, God bless you, and
So
gone home.
sweet.
Of
And
course,
how you
it's
used
helped
to
me.
come running down from that room if
Yeah.
anything is wrong. Again, you will come down to tell us, to tell the orchestra members or us, இல்ல இது சரியில்லை இப்படி வைங்க அப்படி பண்ணுங்க இப்படி பண்ணுங்க சொல்லிட்டு again you used to go run now.
Yeah. That's, in spite of it, I never became slim, though I was running up and down.
Seetha, enough. You and your sense of humor.
So I recorded, I remember Dhananjay and Anna, the last day of before going on maternity leave, before Siddharth was born. I was
Yes.
so big, 9 months pregnant. Anna says, "Inno irkeya Anne? I thought you will be in your delivery by now. Somebody else is doing the recording." So, and all of them used to, all these dancers used to come and visit me. It was a different world those days. Be it Anna,
Exactly.
Narasimhacharis, Padhu, all of them would come home and visit me when my baby was born. And, you know, I had
So
such, now,
sweet.
I mean, it's so isolated. I feel so, I miss the dance
Hey,
world. I
come
miss,
on. Now I must ask you one question. I
Ask.
think you've become a director of a short film, right? Uh, you
Yes.
must tell us about that now.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Because you
you
must
know,
explain so much about that. Okay, you finish this and then start about your short
no,
film.
I'll let me say now. Since after I retired from Doordarshan, I have never entered the Doordarshan station. Nor has any dancer called me for anything. They won't call me. I have not come. If nobody calls me for a program as a judge, as a to visit this thing, you know, nothing. So I get a general invitation from some friend, but that's it. I'm not actively involved. I still
Yes.
come. You must be seeing me at all the sabbath.
Of
I am,
course.
but I have no job to do. What I meant is, no complaint, okay, about dancers, no bitterness. I love the dance field. I love all dancers, all artists,
Yes.
or nothing. But I had nothing active to contribute and be a part. I would be a rasika and watch, and I would come. Anybody invited me, I was very happy to do. But Ratna started giving me more and more responsibilities. You know, I started brainstorming with her with concepts. Initially, I would help her with some
Oh, that's
costumes.
lovely.
I
Wait,
started doing
at Houston or at Chennai?
in Houston, nothing in Chennai.
Okay,
I started doing. It so happened that at that time, about 5-6 years ago, her husband was in hospital. She didn't have time. She would ask me to research and do. So I started working on concepts. I started doing costumes for her. I got my brother helped me do lighting. My brother Krishna Giri, who's in Houston, used to do the lighting for her till his vision got a little affected. He guided me to do the lighting on his behalf, and I was thrown into lighting.
Hey,
I
his
started
wife
doing.
Radhika is also salsa teacher student.
Yes, my sister-in-law.
Your
So
sister-in-law.
my brother does for her, but they live far away in Houston.
Yeah.
So I have been doing the costumes and the lighting for all her arangetrams the last few years.
Excellent.
And I've been working on some concepts. We did something called Forest of Fantasy, which is a fantasy with kids.
Wow.
And Anshuman, which is with grown-ups. We did Dachavataram, explaining all the 10 avatars. And I told her, I'm going to bring in Vitlacharya, a little bit of my technology. Your avatars will appear and disappear on stage.
Hi, that's
All
very
those things.
nice.
So
Huh?
I love working with her because we really have, I think we are able to gel very well, understand each other.
Excellent.
And we both are perfectionists. We work towards,
Very good.
So we push the, bar higher for each other. I think we bring out the best in each other. But then last year, that was also not there. Now, for the first time, I came back last March, and then first quarantine, then I'm twiddling my thumbs. And I don't know how to twiddle my thumbs. First, I started learning Telugu. Then I learned my mother's Telugu songs and taught a few students.
That's so
But how
nice.
long? All new things. I was very happy. But then it gets over. Now, what next? What next? What next? And then I got the COVID, and nobody was coming to see me. I couldn't meet anybody. So this isolation was getting to me. One day I just got a story idea. And I called up Siddharth, it was night. I said, you're ready to hear a bedtime story? And I told him, I have the story. I like it, Mom, he said.
How
So I said,
sweet.
wait, let me ask Dushyant. No, Dushyant and I said, Are you okay if I fritter away all my hard-earned money and waste it and make a movie? In fact, Dushant and I will support you. What's the big problem? I'm sure we can help
So
you make
sweet.
it. You don't worry about frittering your money. Do it. That's what they told me. So I developed the story, and I would send my script, make Dushant read it, give me his feedback, correct it, change it.
It's revolving around what, Sita?
Okay, now it's called, Dushan gave me the title, Pillow Talk. So I have a small
Pillow talk.
yeah,
Okay.
interesting story about, quick, interesting. So when I got the script ready, and it's revolving around three characters. It's a
Okay.
husband and wife. The wife, one person gets COVID, and the relationship, how it's affected during that time. And there's a maid just for it's
Oh,
14
okay.
days from day one of COVID to the 14th day. With my COVID experience, with certain other things I've known based on real life incident, I wove it round and made it. And of course, since I know dancers mostly, my artists were also Kritika Shurajit is my has done the lead role, and another dancer,
Huma?
Kritika Shurajit, Radhika's
Ah,
daughter.
how sweet.
Situ.
Okay.
I call because I've seen her in a few plays in the with the Madras players.
Very nice.
And Pranati Ramdurai Radha student. Actually, it was Aryamba was supposed to do it, and we rehearsed it. But 6 neighbors of Aryamba's got COVID 2 days before my shoot. So
Okay.
I couldn't involve her. So Pranati was kind enough to help out in the last minute. So the film is shot and it's ready. But the interesting story is, after Dushan gave me the title, it's called Pillow Talk. I said, Dush, I want a funky title to appeal to everybody. So he said,
Yes.
how about Pillow Talk? So I loved it. After that, I was going through some photographs of Amma's for her centenary. While I was looking through, I found a photograph of Ratnakars taken in Australia. There's a shop named behind which says Pillow Talk.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
believe it?
Fantastic. What a
32
coincidence.
years ago, and I sent it to my son. They said, what did you Photoshop? I said, what's Photoshop? I don't know.
Oh my God.
I said, have no, and other shops are also there. Pillow Talk was right behind.
Hey, that's so touching.
So
Yeah.
somewhere I feel my mother, my husband, all of them have helped me, and my 2 sons and my daughters-in-law listening to the script while they read it out and got some. I wanted female feedback. I wanted male perspective.
So
Everything.
nice.
They helped me throughout, and
Excellent.
friends of Ratnakar. So many people have helped me make the film. My film is ready, and I'm looking for an OTT platform to release it.
Acha.
It's done completely, ready for
Fantastic. How
And
long did it take? Just 1 year?
1 year. I started thinking about it last December. I wanted to shoot it in January, but then I fractured my toe. So 6 weeks I had to stay at home. In February, I shot it on the 2nd of February, and now it's ready.
Fantastic, Seetha.
I had to think, remember, I was one low budget because I can't afford, I'm putting in my own money. I don't know how it will come out.
Okay.
At my age, to become a filmmaker with new technology,
Yeah,
can't be
yeah.
very sure how it's going to be. It's an experiment. So I
Yes,
wanted
it
to
is.
think not too big, but but I want the best technology because I'm used to good creative work. So I had to spend on good cameras, good technicians. Mr. Paneer Selvam.
Fantastic. And you did it in a inside location, not natural location.
Beautiful location. I took my friend Neena Reddy of Savera Hotels.
Tavera.
She
I
very
know.
generously
I know Neena.
gave her her beach house to shoot. Beautiful location.
So sweet.
So many
Fantastic.
friends came forward to help, and these artists were fantastic. They're young, they're new. We had to have Zoom rehearsals, and we couldn't really spend. We had to shoot
So
it.
it is. What is the length of the movie?
30 minutes.
Half an hour. Wow. For that, you've taken 2.5 to 3 months. Excellent.
Just preparing the script, getting it ready, screenplay, dialogue, and I had to do everything. Like in the Toho Productions, no? You remember?
Advance, hearty congratulations, Seetha.
Thank you, thank
Dear
you.
Seetha,
So,
you
I
you've
had to
always,
do everything because I didn't know.
always been there for me. So my wishes will be right from the bottom of the stomach. You've always been there for me in Sasa Teachers, and during whatever the hard times, and you've always promoted me in Doordarshan. And with,
I can't say
mean, done
promoted
it,
you. I promoted, I won't promote anyone, let me be
not
honest.
promotion,
I
I say
always
giving the
supported you.
opportunities to all of us,
Yeah,
giving the
supported. I
opportunity to
supported
graded
all
artists.
artists.
Yeah, to graded artist. And then you were there for my 40 to 40, 10, 40
You
years of
honored
my
me. I have a
dancing.
beautiful Annapurni which
Yeah.
you gave me.
And then you were here, you were in US, I think. Although you
Yeah.
gave me an article for my coffee table book for my
Yes.
50 years and 20 years of my dance class and 50 years of my dancing in on July 6, 2019. Even for
And
that, you contributed.
I'll also be there for your 60th birthday
No, my
celebration
God,
in one
so
way or
sweet.
the other, visual, virtual, somewhere, but I'll be a part of it.
Of course.
I'll
No,
always be.
not that much, you have, it's not only with me. I'm just an example, I'm telling you. You should be having like this with so many other dancers, Seetha.
I suppose because I was not here, I was out of sight and out of mind.
Yes.
That's what I feel, because everybody has a lot of regard for me. Everybody's always treated
course,
me
of
very well.
course.
So I just think, but suddenly when I was so happy when, what's wrong? Why am I not getting the name now?
Yeah,
Sarojaka's daughter.
Rama
Rama
daughter-in-law.
Vaidyanathan.
Daughter-in-law.
Remember, yeah, Rama Vaidyanathan. I've only used her once. I didn't even, not as a dancer, for Sarojaka's natural program. Rama did the announcement for me in Delhi, way back in
So
the
sweet.
90s. She was a new bride at that time. She remembered and called me to be a part of the Natikala
conference.
I was
That's
so
so
grateful
nice.
to her for coming back and being a part of to
Very
be a
nice.
part of mingling. See, otherwise I was a Rasika, you all were doing, I was sitting out there and watching dance. But there was
Yes.
a big gap. I used to be a part of the dance,
So sweet.
fraternity, and suddenly I was out of it, I felt, for a very long time. Thanks to Rama, I was back. Then Arshia called me to Delhi
Yeah,
to talk
Ashia
about.
Sethi.
So
Yeah.
I felt very, then again, this, because of COVID, it's constrained. Akhila asked me to speak a few times, and Radhika called me. So I'm glad
that
I
gives
could
you
share.
so much. No, to talk and to get involved with your passion gives you the best satisfaction, Seetha.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My
And
God.
anyway, dance, and even in my film, I could only call dancers to participate because I'm so out of touch with the film world. But dancers trust me and came forward. I cannot call actors. They have to see my caliber
So
before they
sweet.
can come forward. If they like what I did now, maybe I can do with actors next time.
That's
If there's a next time, let's see what God
I
has
am
in store.
sure it would be so fantastic, and I'm sure everybody. When
Well,
are you planning to release the date?
I have, you see, you can only go through agents to OTT platforms. You can't
Okay.
directly approach. That's the new system.
Okay.
So I've sent feelers to a few agents, and they're trying. Where it's going to come, I don't know. I'll put it on Facebook and Insta the minute I know where it's going to be
And what
telecast.
about you can ask that Amazon Prime also, no?
You can't directly. I checked up on the net. They
Oh.
have agents who contact them. Let's see, it's in English and Tamil. Mainly because I wrote the dialogue. If I could outsource it, I would have done something in Tamil. I would have done in Telugu. I like
That's
all
lovely.
our Indian, but I
Very
wasn't
nice.
really fluent in any language, so I did something. And COVID is very close to my heart, having experienced it. So my
Please,
Ratna is asking
please.
me, no, meaning I feel, but to show her recovering, you have to show. I want people to know that you can recover. It comes, it's a necessary evil, inevitable in many cases. But if you get it, it's not the end of the world. But there are more important issues than that. That is what I don't know. I
That's
don't want to
very
tell
true,
the story.
Seetha.
I had to have COVID in the background because I think I experienced it and I could go through.
No, I understand. I understand what you say. But then, yes, you've come out the positivity. Now that we are almost near the end of our conversation, I would like you, with your, what amount of experience? I think more than 50 years, right? Although
Yeah.
you were out of it, but in
Okay.
your mind.
Yeah.
And in fact, remember, you have even we recorded for another private satellite channel Our program for Deepavalis also we've done.
Your dance, yeah.
Yeah, Trimurti, so many things we've done. No, Sita, I would like you to give the aspirants, young aspirants especially, the advice on. Right now, you've told that COVID is a back of my mind. And with that, I have to tell the people how we can come out of it and how we can make a name for ourselves even after that. But in dancing, in getting opportunities, and whether, because some people say that they are in a hurry, and some people feel, I'm saying elders, like, okay, and some people feel that too much. Sarsa teacher, when she was alive itself, she used to tell us, என்னடி இது குரு பயிற்சி யாருதுரி ஒரு குருக்கு மாறிண்டே இருக்கா. So what is you know her sense of humor.
I know.
So what is yours, especially after COVID? What is your advice to the young aspirants of dance in particular?
Okay. To start with, I would say that it is a very depressing atmosphere outside. It is depressing whether we like to accept it or not. It's scary to say the least. So I think every one of us has a responsibility now, dancers, artists, everybody, to uplift the mood of the people in whatever way we can. I think that's a primary, of primary importance. I mean, then,
Sita?
oh, am I?
Suddenly you froze. Okay.
Oh, sorry. But that doesn't mean we have to see the world with rose-tinted glasses and make up false things. But I thought, try our best in how can we make this a better environment with considering all the constraints that are happening. And how do we reach more people? How do we, whatever talent we have, through dance, through music, what can we do? I take my I movies, I shot from the window, put together flowers, put together birds, put together, maybe people won't see, but it gives me joy putting all these beautiful things and putting a music to it.
So sweet.
Putting it on. So I feel that if we can, along with doing serious work, if we can spread joy, a little bit of happiness to around us in whatever way.
Lovely.
Sorry, just give me a...
That's okay. Please drink water. Yeah.
And yes, I know this Zoom and all these things, they have come to stay, but I think there's a lot of it's getting very difficult to continuously watch on the... We're all having a little problem watching the screen. Yeah, your mind is kind of refusing to watch anymore. Yes. Sometimes you just want to turn. Even TV. I love watching films. I love Netflix and Amazon Prime and all the feature films that I watch. I'm a big film buff. I used to go to the theater. I'm missing the theater. I'm missing people. I'm missing the clapping, the applause, the reaction.
Yeah, the sabbath.
I'm missing the abhinaya of the audience. Kala. I'm seeing the abhinaya of the dancer. How about the abhinaya of the audience when you're watching? How about the sabash when they hear music? I am missing all that. So
sabash.
I feel
sabash in the audience.
Yes.
Sabash.
Yeah, it's a glucose, no, for the artist.
It
no,
is.
I think it is this. It's a very, very. We don't know when we are going to get that opportunity again. So try to spread. Find whatever way you can. Besides doing all the serious dance, try to spread. Think out of the box is what I would request every artist. You have your traditions, you have everything, but this is a time to think out of the box so that you catch my attention.
Very nice.
Like when Seetha Ratnakar does, I see, because I watch, what are they doing? How is she doing this? What is she doing under the table? My curiosity is aroused by these artists, how they're applying their art to, people may like it, may not like it. I think everything doesn't have to be liked. It should be watched. So now
Exactly.
The best of our art, I'm not able to watch sometimes, but I'm able to watch something that is interesting. I wouldn't say just because it's different. If you make it interesting, if you capture my interest, Also, I would really request everybody to start thinking of how they can reach out to the younger generation. Should reach out to children,
Very
because
true.
the children are having a very, very hard time. So if you
Very
could use
tough.
your dance to choreograph simple things with less, easy costumes and attractive costumes that will catch their attention, but they like colors, they like
I
bright things,
know.
catch their attention and choreograph things, teach them little values in life
That's
through your dance in any language is not important, but make the
yeah,
movements
yeah.
perky and so this is what I would say. Please help the younger generation, because they are going through the worst. We have such wonderful memories to live on. These
Very true.
kids have not even made their
Very
memories
true.
yet. So
Very,
please
very.
reach out to them. Please, everybody, put aside, do one little thing. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go around the world. Do it for your community, the kids near your house, your apartment complex kids.
So
Start
sweet.
small, reach out to kids, use your art for them.
Lovely. Thanks. Very nice. Very well said. No, it's so true, And even slowly, the sabas can open with just about 100 people, or I think they will do it anyway.
Not
Because,
now, Kala. Right now, it is spreading so
yeah,
fast.
not now. I
I
mean,
think until the second wave is contained, they're not going to
that's
open.
what.
So
Maybe
it's
sometime in
very
December.
hard on artists, I know, because their livelihood. In fact, that's one of the reason I didn't mind making the film, even if it's small budget. I know that I've given some livelihood to a few tech people, and I paid
Very. No,
everybody.
that's what.
Nothing
That's
was,
how even. Yeah. That's how
So
even we conducted. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that
That's
I'm
very nice.
happy. That's something I could do in some way. And it's not like just chat. They work, they're happy, they earned it. I'm happy that I worked with them, I learned. So it's a wonderful learning process.
No,
So I'm
no,
sure,
no. What you're telling is absolutely true. Absolutely.
so if you're confined
Absolutely,
at home,
because
think for the
health
children.
is wealth. The
Yeah.
safety we have to see.
Yeah.
No,
So
very
think
true.
for the children, start doing things, put it on YouTube, say for kids, make for kids, do something for kids, because
You
our
are
kids are
so
missing
sweet.
out on our culture completely. Kids
I think
across
I
the world.
should take this idea
Please,
and
please.
my
And
students, I
simple,
should do it.
make the
It's so
costumes,
sweet.
make it acceptable. You have a small group of kids and ask them if they like it. Take them, treat them like your critics. Ask them, do you like what I'm doing? And get them to respond to you and cater to them. Simple stories,
Fantastic.
simple.
Fantastic, Seetha. Thank you
Okay?
so much.
Thank you.
It's gone more than 1 hour. It's so nice. And I am so, the time போனதே தெரியல because எனக்கு வந்து ஆமாமா I think the Instagram people have given Tejas extra time நினைக்கிறேன்.
How sweet.
I
Thank
used
you.
to get about 50 seconds left. Bye, Chal. Bye, Chal.
Bye, Kana. Bye.
He has to say hi, he has to say bye.
So
So
sweet.
I'm
I'm
so
so
happy,
glad.
but I think it was so interesting.
Thank
I
you
mean, your
so
yatra
much.
has been, what to say, everything, both interesting, challenging, everything that you faced very well. But
Thank you so
with a
much.
positive note, that is why you've been very successful. And even if you weren't given the proper recognition within that field, as you said, you came out of it, you did not bother for it. Nothing bothered you, right?
Just initially for a short while, but
Because
you have to move
human
on.
beings, yeah.
No,
Even
you have
that,
to move on, because there's more to life than that, you see. You have to
Yes.
forget. Otherwise, you'll be stuck there with that negativity and there's nothing ahead of you. If
Nothing.
you want something more, you have to move on from that. Then
Very
there's
true.
always so
Very
much
true.
I've found in life. And right now I'm a blessed soul, I can say. With COVID, with everything, if I could make a
May
film with
God
the
bless
support
you
of
more and
God
more.
is kind.
Bless all of us. And very, very sweet Sitama.
I wish all of you, everybody, a very safe, stay safe, stay happy, try to find happiness in whatever you do, try to do whatever makes you happy and other people happy. Spread happiness in this difficult time. That's what I request in whatever way you can. Spread joy, spread happiness, and you're doing a great job with your program, Kala. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much, Seetha. And my dear audience viewers, thanks for
Thank
being
you.
a wonderful audience to Seetha and us today. Thank you so much. And see you all, meet you all later. And Seetha, Thanks a lot.
Thank you so
It
much,
was
Kala.
fantastic, Seetha. I mean, it is so nice sharing because our friendship
Teachers'
went
blessings.
back to I don't know how many decades.
We have teachers' blessings, my dear, you and I.
Yes,
So, really
Sarasa
blessed. Sarasa
teacher, best teachers' blessing that all
Yes,
of us
her
have.
love and blessings always.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
And bye, my dear viewers.